name's Tim Campbell. I'm the Director of Powerful Personnel. A key person in my life who's inspired my journey to date has been my mother. It sounds really cliche, but I owe her an awful lot because I know the sacrifices she made in order to get me and my siblings to where we are. And most importantly, it was her work ethic that she passed on. She had this unwavering determination to succeed, and that kind of infected us as children. So I'd hoped I could pay homage to her in the activities I do now. A key tip around success that's always worked for me is know where you want to get to. It's really important that you understand you've got limited energy and there's only a certain amount of hours in a day. So you have to really be focused around what you want to do with that time and energy that you have and understand it's really precious. Don't waste it on trying to chase other people's dreams or others' ambitions. Really focus on what success looks like for you, but make sure you implement the plans that you put in place. The easiest way I find to do that is tell lots of people around the aspirations that I have. It's like somebody trying to give up smoking. If you say that you're going to happen, then actually maybe they'll hold you to account as well. It's an amazing achievement that the Powerlist has reached that milestone of 10 years. I think it's incredibly important that we reflect on how important that is, not just to the individuals who are highlighted in the publication, as fantastic as their success is, but for me it's the legacy and the stepping stones that they leave for others to potentially aspire to and want to bypass. I think growing up I had the role models of looking at Sir Trevor McDonald or my mum or people in my family, but there are a lot of individuals who don't see themselves reflected in the mainstream society which they'd like to be part of. And actually having that what I call a Roger Bannister moment of seeing somebody break through a glass ceiling or a barrier actually makes it really inspiring for somebody else to think that they could achieve something very similar. So actually the legacy of the Powerlist is as important as reaching the milestone of 10 years, because it's actually what it will do to inspire a next generation of people to far exceed the momentous achievements of many people detailed within it. Two keystone moments in my life which have helped me in my journey would be, firstly, getting to the position where I understood the power of education. I was, from a very young age, dictated to by my mother that I was going to university. That was the only course for me to take. And although I achieved it, I didn't understand why that was so important for her. And what she was trying to do was instill in me an ambition around social mobility. And by that I mean she was very clear that where we started from a working class background was not where we were going to end up. And actually one of the key pathways to break through the place that we started was to be educated. So the power of understanding a particular discipline which I followed, which was psychology, was a key milestone in my life. And then I suppose the second one was appearing on a national television show. And it wasn't so much the fame or infamy that came with that. It was the only time I realised how important it was to have role models who looked like you in certain situations. There were so many mothers, cousins, nephews, brothers and sisters who had watched the show and then come back and said, that's actually a reflection of my journey. And only before then, hitherto, they'd only seen either sports stars or individuals in a negative light, either talked about on television. So being part of that show made me realise how important it was to make sure that I was leaving some form of legacy for others to follow as well. So I've created a number of businesses, a number of charities that were inspired and invested in young people, and it was that television show which actually inspired me to go on and do those things. A really key moment when I was growing up was my mum used to have these mantras, and she said that it was my house, these are my rules, or the other one was around education, education, education. And at the time I thought she was just a spoilsport, but what I realised is that she was investing in me a set of mantras which I could follow on and then now pass on to my children. And the beauty of my experience, which I've seen from so many individuals from African and African Caribbean background, is the power of stories in our lives. And the Powerlist is a capture of all of those stories of so many different people that can be passed on to many more.